There are some who have little faith and little power of self-control, and it is difficult for them to banish the thoughts suggested by such literature. And this is, let me read the first little paragraph because that might help give it a little context. It says, as I see the danger that threatens the youth from improper reading, I cannot forbear to present still further the warnings given to me in regard to this great evil. And then it's talking about the different types of things that they read, what type of impressions it puts across the mind. That was what the paragraph was that I was reading about. The different thoughts that would be suggested as they're reading and the different things that it would imprint on the memory. And then in paragraph 3, starting about mid-paragraph, it says, yielding to the temptation continually before them, they soon lose their relish for solid reading. They have no interest in Bible study. Their moral powers becomes enfeebled. Sin appears less and less repulsive. There is manifest an increasing unfaithfulness, a growing distaste for life's practical duties. As the mind becomes perverted, it is ready to grasp any reading of a stimulating character. And I can tell you just from when I was a teenager, I know that I was always looking for something extra to read. And my English teachers would give me books that weren't in the library. But I know how it was like fascinating to the mind. But it would also make impressions of things that you would think about later. So I can see where this is coming from, where it's trying to give good counsel and advice. And this is from 204, paragraph 1. It says, there is no time for engaging in trifling amusements, the gratification of selfish propensities. It is time that you were occupied with serious thoughts, and you cannot dwell upon the self-denying, self-sacrificing life of the world's Redeemer and find pleasure in joking and jesting and whiling away your time in foolishness. You are greatly in need of a practical experience in the Christian life. You need to train the mind for the work of God. The religious experience is to a great degree determined by the character of the books you read in your leisure moments. And from paragraph 204, paragraph 2 says, if you love the scriptures and search them whenever there is opportunity, that you may come into possession of their rich treasures, then you may be assured that Jesus is drawing you to himself. Amen. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Because it's just like you, depending on what you're reading, what you're inputting, you're feeding your character. And depending on what you're reading, you're giving it a path to go, a route. And yeah, you definitely need to be thinking about the right things. Yes.
I'm thinking about my you brought out like when you were young about what you were doing it, and I'm telling my children's about the books we have in home. There's books like the grammar bought it for them, like magic books, or all those books. I told them that's not gonna help you. That's gonna take you to imagination things like it's not real, because these are some false stories about it. But when you read stories about in the Bible, you know this story, and you can look and research, and you will find those stories because they was real. There was people live in that time for make a sample to us, and you wanna affirm your thought in the real life, not in the imagination life. Those books is just present.
Yeah.
So I always tell you to not read those books.
Yeah.
So I throw out some of them, but I always fight with my wife. Something when she is trying to find it, and then she don't find it. So
yeah. And I also, I was always trying to get good books or even little shows or whatever for my kids when we were raising them, to have something good and spiritual to be able to go into them. But I also thought at the same time, oh, Disney movies, they're just great. They're family movies. But then you don't see and realize at the time all the magical little deals that's throughout all of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is all about
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah, and sorcery. But yeah.
Witchcraft.
Yeah. So yeah, you're really getting into the spiritualism side of it, but yet they make it so entertaining and delightful to be family oriented. And it's just the subtleness that comes in. And
Honestly, it's not even subtle.
well, yeah, it's not anymore. It's really not. But yeah, once I got older, I threw every one of those movies away.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, I'm gonna save these for my grandkids. Nope, absolutely not. So I threw every one of them away. Yeah, it's just so important to try to feed them the right type of literature and things that they're going to see and hear. Yeah. Anybody have anything else to add?
I was just gonna say on that subject.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say on that subject, even when I was little, like Arlo, like 4 years old, we had the Mickey Mouse
Mm-hmm.
book, and it was where the wizard
Mm-hmm.
went away and left him his magic
Hat and wand.
hat, and yeah, something like.
Yeah. Didn't he have
And-
the little wand too? Or
and
just
it
the
got
hat?
it got out of hand, like
Yeah.
everything got out of hand, and it made it look like the wizard was good, because when the wizard came back, he stopped everything, But to differentiate from God and magic is it's really hard for a lot of children, because at the same time I was being taught about God, and I had to differentiate myself,
Mm-hmm.
because we were allowed to read these books too, because my family was coming out of the Presbyterian church into Seventh-day Adventist church.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to differentiate to myself, Santa Claus is not real. Things myself. The tooth fairy is not real. I had to figure it out myself because nobody was telling me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to figure out when we were reading this book that this was not from God. And some children cannot do that. They don't understand
Mm-hmm.
how different that is. And then they begin to relate, because my little sister, she began to relate, oh, God is magic. And I said, no, God's not magic. She was only 1 year younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just left to children they get all this information, the good information, the bad information, and they have to figure it out for themselves, unless somebody is telling, unless there's somebody older than them to tell them, no, God is not magic. It's not the same, same
Right.
thing. It's so dangerous. It's almost like when you're feeding your children good about God, and also they're being fed the evil, it's like mixing the truth with error, which is so even more dangerous than just error, or just, yeah.
And they can't see the difference, because they're saying, well, I can't see God, I can't see this magic either, and I can't hear, but yet I'm seeing results from both, and they can make them blend,
Yes.
and they think it's all the same. Yeah. So the spiritualism gets mixed in with the good, and yeah. We were talking about the type of influence it makes on a child's mind, what they read, what they hear, what they see, everything that's going to affect the mind, and the type of imprints that it's going to make on the mind and the heart, and the suggestions that are made from those type of avenues to be able to come into their lives, where it's going to lead them. Yeah, so that's kind of what we were going over. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Any more comments? Okay. So in the middle of the page, it says, being placed inside the ark beside the 10 Commandments not only points to the importance of Sabbath keeping, but also to the importance of healthful living. God says, Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth. And I believe that is 3 John chapter 2, verse 1. Pretty sure it is. Huh? Yeah.
Third John 1.
1? Oh, well, it says 2, 1.
John 2.
It says,
And then 2.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh, there is only one chapter.
yeah. Third John 2. Verse.
Yeah. So they got that wrong in the book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all books printed that way. Like
Yeah.
you want in the verse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's 3 John 1, 2. Sorry. They just had the numbers backwards. Okay. But yeah, I had it highlighted. Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth. And then if somebody wants to read 1 Corinthians 10:31. Which is another one we probably should have memorized.
Need to read.
Yes, if you got it. Oh, wait a minute. Mike.
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 21. 31, sorry.
Mhm.
Whether therefore ye eat or drink or whatsoever ye do, do all in the glory of God.
So how many of us live our life that way every day? Mm-hmm. We have to try every single day. And I know this one was just talking about eat or drink, but it says whatsoever you do. And everything. So, and I always try to look at that in the aspect of whenever I'm working. Anytime I'm working, I always try to do the best that I can do, whatever I'm doing it at. And even when I'm trying to teach younger guys about doing specific things, a couple different things I'm always having to point out is organization, safety, and cleanup. It's just keep your stuff organized while you're working. When you're doing it, complete your task. And when you're finished your task, clean up. It's just like, but they get it up, finish your stuff, and then they just walk off, and they got stuff laying in the floor, right in the hall where people's working, stuff sitting here and there, trash all over the place. I'm just like, what kind of example are you leaving? You got, if you're doing your best job, yeah, you're just looking for productivity. You're not looking for quality. And quality is when people see you do the extra little bit. Even if you're down there picking up little pieces with your hands instead of sweeping it up or vacuuming it up, pick it up, get it out of the way. And it's just like, always do your best. And sometimes the customers, they'll see stuff like that. And they see that as, yeah, I see the guy going an extra mile. He's doing more than what he should. And sometimes they even say, we don't ever have contractors clean up after themselves. So it's
We need to hire some new contractors.
right. Yeah.
It makes sense.
There's been plenty of places I've been that they say the contractors do not even clean up after themselves. And they're always impressed whenever our group comes in and we do ours and everything's clean. And I always tell them, leave the place better than when you got there. So you're really making an impression. That's it. That's number one. Electricians. Yep. That's the number one complaint. Yeah. Yes. But yeah, so it's saying whatsoever you do to the glory of God. Yeah.
So we're talking about the health of the body and how to keep the condition of it. 3 John 2 and 1 Corinthians 10:31. So I was looking at this. Our High Calling, page 267, paragraph 2 says, "The light God has given on health reform is for our salvation and the salvation of the world. Men and women should be informed in regard to the human habitation fitted by our Creator as His dwelling place and over which He desires us to be faithful stewards. Our bodies are wonderfully made, and the Lord requires us to keep them in order. All are under obligation to Him to keep the human structure in a healthful, wholesome condition, that every muscle, every organ may be used in the service of God. God, who formed the wonderful structure of the body, will take special care to keep it in order. If men cooperate instead of working at cross purposes with Him." Now, I read that. Remember, Sister Rick, what we was talking about? The health reform and different things about baptism. We're talking about, now, listen, the light God has given on health reform is for our salvation and the salvation of the world. So wouldn't that, we're talking about, anyway. Our High Calling, page 267, paragraph 2.
That shows how important it is.
Right. It's for our salvation and the salvation of the world. It's not only for us, but it's the salvation of the world. That's why we were put here, to do that. I just want to share that because that's just talking about that. Oh, here you go.
And I just discovered that, maybe not just, but a while ago, that if you try to live for God, if you try to do everything for Him, that real Christian people is the most happiest people in the world, because they see beauty, they have happiness, because they have a hope. And even in the morning, in the morning, I have to wake up very, very early, like spend time with God, kind of try to walk in the morning. And, when you even walk outside, you feel so happy. You see this nature, even it's touched by sin, but you see this beauty, you see these animals, you see whatever is growing, and it gives you so much joy in your life, that, and especially to me, it's my kind of routine. In the morning when I walk in, I read in scripture, and my song for every morning, it's in the morning when I rise, give me Jesus, and I'm singing, and I see, say, you can have all this world, give me Jesus, and it gives you so much hope and joy in your heart. And it's true. And then, like David says, if you're happy, sing psalms, and it gives you double happiness, because you glorify His name.
Amen. Anybody else? All right.
So I'll add some.
Okay.
Yeah.
What Alian is saying. So there's something about the morning, because it's quiet, and nature is like just waking up. And when you go outside in the morning, and the song that I think of all the time is that I come to the garden alone while the dew is still on the roses.
Yeah.
And you almost feel like Jesus is like walking right beside you, because it's so quiet, and there's nothing like the solitude of the morning. And that's like the best time to spend time with God and to talk to Him. There's just nothing like it. Even in the evening, it's not the same. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. But
You have to touch it,
yeah,
taste and see.
yeah. And so it's like so important, especially in to start the day, like talking to God before you do anything else. And there have been days when something is ready to meet for me to take care of or deal with, and I forget to talk to God, and it's like my whole day is different. My whole day is terrible. Not terrible, but what I want to say is when that opportunity is taken away from you, because I've gotten like maybe a phone call or something, and it just takes me away from that opportunity altogether. And it's like that part of that day, you can't get it back.
Yeah.
And you can't do it over. And it's just, I don't know, so important to spend that time with Jesus in the very morning where it's quiet. There's absolutely nothing like it.
You said something a while ago. Just what's the name of the song where he walks with me and he talks with me? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We can sing a song to the end.
Because it was just making me think, like you said, it's a quiet time, but you always hear the birds usually chirping and singing. But it says in that song, the birds even hush their singing because his voice is so beautiful. Yeah.
Because when he's here, everything be quiet.
Mhm.
He's here. He's at the center of everything. Animals, people, even the river stuff.
Yes. Yes.
We're talking about nature, right?
Yeah.
And it's amazing how in the book of Romans it talks about how even those heathens that may not get the word can know by nature where we are. Without even being preached to them, they'll know by nature. Just the other day, you think about nature. Just the other day, we had a contractor up under the house looking at some of our ductwork. It broke off and pulled apart. And she came from up under the house, and she was. Now I was surprised because I even asked her. I said, "You've been the first female HVAC person I have ever come to my house." She said, "I get that a lot." I said, "You are truly." I mean, and she said that it's part of the family business. So she said she wanted to come back and do some work. So as she was telling me what was going on up under the house, we got hummingbird feeders all over the house, and they were just humming and buzzing, flying in front of her face and everything. And she was like, I mean, she just, wow, that's nice. That's beautiful. All the hummingbirds just flying around. So nature just opens up so many different things for us. Other day, I was walking at the park down the street at Creekside, minding my own business, out there walking. And this couple, I've never seen them, talked to them before. I was approaching them and said, come here. And there was a crane, one of those blue cranes, sitting right there on a rock.
Wow.
And said, "Oh yeah, I'd never seen that before." And she was sharing that how whatever health condition she is, she can hardly come outside. But my friend talked me into coming outside. I'm gonna have to try to get out here more now. Just to be in nature. It's just amazing what nature does for you and how it's soothing.
Yeah,
it is.
To the Creator.
Yeah, when I used to go out and feed those squirrels before they stopped me from doing it, that was therapeutic.
Yes.
Sabbath mornings,
Yeah.
before I finished getting ready, I would go to Creekside, take my bag of nuts, shake that bag, and just go out and just feed them. That was just so therapeutic. I was so hurt when they told me, you got people complaining. Squirrels were running up to them because they think they're gonna get something to eat. Stuff like that. I was like, wow.
So,
I said,
probably
really?
scaring other people.
Yeah. I'm like, wow. But yeah, it's just therapeutic. It does so much, especially in the morning. I noticed at my house, I know it's about time to get up because right between 5 and 5:30, I can start hearing the birds.
Yeah.
I didn't say 4 or 4:30. I said between 5 and 5:30. So if I open my eyes, I'm like, I don't hear no birds or anything. I still need to be sleeping.
Yeah.
That's like a little alarm clock.
Yeah.
Yep. They know when it's
Yeah, because it's about that first light starting to come up. Yeah. Yeah, and even just talking about different things in nature that's therapeutic. Even I was just trying to tell somebody last week just about cats because we were taking on a new kitten.
It's a joy.
Yeah, but I was just trying to tell them how therapeutic it is just to have a pet, an animal, just to be able to pet, and you get to, if it's that small, you're basically being their parent because the mom is gone
Yeah.
and they treat you like a little parent,
So you feeding them, of
Yeah.
course you will.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just really neat. But the other person didn't want to hear it.
We call it cat people.
Austin.
Cat
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
You don't know if you don't experience it.
Right. If you had,
You
because
don't know.
I used to be the same exact attitude as what he used to be. I was that way. I never wanted to have cats around me or anything. But after we experienced just one, she talked me into having one. I was like, that's the best cat I've ever had, or ever, because we never had a cat. Even my stepdad, he hated cats. But man, that cat was just so good.
My husband never have a kid too, but I brought them from Ukraine.
Yeah.
And he was 10 years old, and he loved him, and he lived with us 10 more years.
All right.
So it's
Yeah.
the best experience.
Yeah.
So, right.
I'm a cat person.
Yeah, let me share this. Most people that know me, when we get a cat, we keep the cat till the cat just keels over.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just telling the truth.
Yeah.
No, I mean, really. I mean, they get so old, 20, 21, 22 years old.
Yeah.
So, as you talk about it now it's work.
Mhm.
So if you got, like, we got 6 cats at the house. I got 6 litter boxes in the laundry room. Then I have a crate set up for the oldest cat,
Mm-hmm.
and we finally got a new cage for it where it's all one level.
Oh, okay.
It's like a one level house.
Yeah.
And the litter box is on the far end and her bed is on the other end. And I mean, that's what we got to do for her because of her age.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's like a duty that I know I have to go through, but after I'm done, it's like,
Yeah.
then they eat and then they feed them and everything. I mean, I wouldn't know what else to do now. I done had cats for so many years. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, then we got down to 4, then we were right back up to 6.
Have that many? What's chemo?
I don't know. I'm not even gonna talk about
We
that.
have 9.
Yeah.
Especially when they all stay in the house.
Well, at least
They all stay in the house.
most all of ours are outside.
Yeah, see, and that
Yeah.
does make a difference.
Right.
I couldn't do that in my house
Right.
because that road right there in front, I couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we have wild cats. We brought them to our home 2 years ago, and they was really wild, like very wild. You cannot touch them, you cannot do anything. They will run away. But little by little, because you're feeding them,
Oh yeah,
now I can grab them,
that's right.
I can feed them, and the same, you can touch them. But I mean, it's a blessing because, especially when you have garden, moles, voles, squirrels, mice,
Yeah.
chipmunks, birds, you can see
Rabbits.
everything, unfortunately,
It'll keep them all away,
But
yeah.
they are so good about this, So it's a blessing.
Unfortunate for the bluebird.
Some birds,
Yeah.
it's unfortunate for birds and chipmunks to me, but it is what it is. They're hunters. What you can stop them?
Yeah. We still get the little prize on the
still have to
sidewalk.
do their playing.
Yeah.
One comment.
Yes.
Yes, that's all right.
Cats are great. Cats are also yard lions, and they will eat other critters.
Mhm.
We had, I like some little
Groundhog.
not groundhogs. I like
Chipmunks?
chipmunks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
love
they-
them.
Put holes in
But they're
them,
gonna
right?
eat them.
The cats will.
They
Cats
have
just
to,
eat them up.
Oh.
Yes.
They do. They eat them up.
Yeah.
I even had one cat come by. He grabbed the chipmunk, and I yelled, and he spit him out. I'm serious. The chipmunk, he moved and got his arms and legs back together and ran up the tree.
Oh boy.
But the next time he came down, cat ate him.
Mm. Yeah.
Balcony.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's because
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It, yeah. It'll be really nice to see all of.
All together.
Yeah. It just. Yeah.
I was telling Nico now that see the wolf with the lion,
Mm-hmm.
the cat with all those kind of movements.
Yeah.
And all of that, but really, if it's on touch any big lion or
Anything.
Yeah.
be our pillow. We can just
maybe they
Yeah.
they're gonna do it.
Well, he did together, right?
Oh, yeah, man.
Who got the cat thing started?
Yeah.
I did.
And she's playing with it like my best friend. And like,
But they always do that. They play with
Yeah.
it. When they get the mouse up, they play with it.
and he's just chilling there.
Yes, they do. They play with it.
Really?
And then lay down.
Oh, it's
Oh.
Can I say
Wow. Okay.
it looks like they're sleeping together. Oh, they play. How they think.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
I used to have when I worked at Steps to Life, they had some cats there. They were like, I guess you would call them church cats. And one of the guys they used to Bart, he worked there for a long time. Bert. And he ended up leaving. He left the cats there at the man. They were his cats. They were his wife's cats, but she passed away. So when he moved, the cat stayed. So my cousin and I, we lived like. So the church is connected to two apartments on the bottom. So I stayed on the side, and my cousin stayed at the bottom. And the cats were so used to the person prior to me being there, they would come to our doorstep, and they would come with gifts.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and I would have to watch. I would have to watch before I went out the door
Mm-hmm.
and make sure that I didn't see any guts or stuff. Because I'm like, what is this? So, but I guess it's a way of saying, hey, mommy, look what I've done. But like you
Yeah.
said, they kept the rodents away.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. All right. Well, we'll get back onto the sanctuary. Yes.
Well, we were talking about the connection with nature.
Nature.
And
Yeah.
how that
Yeah.
connects you with Christ.
Yeah. And yeah, how it brings us into that environment. Yeah. So the next part, it says temperance in eating, drinking, sleeping, and dressing is one of the grand principles of religious life. And this is from 6T 375, and paragraph 1 says, if we arouse the moral sensibilities of our people on the subject of temperance, a great victory will be gained. Temperance in all things of this life is to be taught and practiced. Temperance in eating, drinking, sleeping, and dressing is one of the grand principles of the religious life. Truth brought into the sanctuary of the soul will guide in the treatment of the body. Nothing that concerns the health of the human agent is to be regarded with indifference. Our eternal welfare depends upon the use we make during this life of our time, strength, and influence. But I just like, talking about the temperance that we should have with all things. And I was giving testimony last week or the week before about how I was intemperate in some things. And since the challenge,
the peanut butter.
peanut butter and jelly, but since the challenge, I still haven't touched it. And it's still going good. And I'm planning on staying. Well, I still haven't touched the peanut butter or the chips, so I'm still doing good on that. And
It's just you have to stay away from things that become an addiction.
right, yeah, like an addiction, yeah, anything that's going to get you to be intemperate can become an addiction, yeah. And I know most of the time The only way to do that is make no provision for it. So, to keep yourself away from it.
So you're not saying peanut butter is bad. It's just for you.
Right, from me.
For you.
You're weak in that.
Yeah, I'm weak in that. Yeah, because that was my dessert. Yeah, for me, that was my treat. Yeah, too much.
I'm kind of surprised because here it says temperance
That's
in
hard.
eating and sleeping.
Even sleeping.
They can oversleep.
Too much and you get
Honestly.
not enough.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you work and you, why you can sleep a lot?
Well, you can drink too much water.
Yeah, I understand. Sometimes you don't sleep enough. This is a problem.
Mm.
It could be probably the way.
Some people have
Too much.
Too much water, Brian? Oh, wow.
That's why they say 7 to 9 hours for an adult. 7 to 9. So less than that and more than that, you gotta ask yourself, why am I sleeping 10 hours?
Yeah.
Mm.
You know.
Now, this also mentions temperance in dressing.
Mhm.
So what would you say? Just by temperance in dressing.
In dress.
Dress.
Reform.
Yeah.
That's
Just dress reform, yeah.
So you
And-
have to ask one of the sisters, or 2 or 3 of them, ask them what does that mean.
Right. Well,
That's who it's addressed to.
I just had,
No, see, we always say that.
What? It's not?
Yeah, listen, you know, Mike. I'm not negating the fact that it's for men also. But when we in the Bible and in the spirit of prophecy, who is mostly dealt with?
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Women.
talking about.
it's always
Women, because
directed.
women can what? Bring down kingdoms
Mhm.
and influence. That's why the dress of the woman is always referred to. I mean, I can't come in here and have a what you call those t-shirts?
Muscle t-shirts, tank
muscle-
tops, or whatever.
muscle shirt and all that and get up there. No, I got that. But what I'm saying, we're dealing mostly with women. That's just the way it is, because that's women, and the way they dress can be alluring and provocative.
Mm-hmm.
I was just looking at more from the health standpoint, like.
I'm looking at the
You're right about that because today
That would bring out the lust of the flesh.
that's right, because men are visual.
Find something with the conservative clothes. It's here too much or something. It's very hard to find
Yeah.
conservative.
Any gap, as a man, any gap you have in your body, the first thing a man is gonna see you just
That's
that
right.
hard.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And that's danger. That's why women have to be preserved in their
Yeah.
body. Like,
You say
Because-
any gap, what?
I'm saying it's just like what the Bible says in the spirit of prophecy about the moderation of dressing in women, because it's more focused in women. Of course, we had to do a reform, but it's more influence in you, because that's why Adam was weak, because the women, because he loved more the woman than God. So as we are, the woman came from the rib of man. That's why we are weak of a woman. So we please our wife most of the time more than God. So when you dress, the way you dress, you can, if your husband is a Christian and your wife is not Christian and she dressing the same as the world, how you think you're gonna put in your mind? So you have a warfare, a war in your mind, and also your wife is exposed in everywhere she goes, and you're gonna have a problem, because there's men, there's pervert men. They don't care if the wife is walking with her husband.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to be prepared.
Right.
Amen.
Yeah.
They may not.
Yeah, I totally agree. I've seen it before where a woman will be with her husband and she'll be dressed inappropriately, and once the husband has to go off or she has to go off. You can see people sometimes following them to try to get a word in edgewise, especially if a woman gives a man a certain look and it's not her husband, which happens from time to time. So that's something that we all have to watch out for. But not only do women have to watch out for it, but men have to watch out for it too, because sometimes our eyes will give our thoughts away.
Amen.
I thought I'd get a few of these in from the girls.
That's right.
Yeah, but the way we were to say.
Yeah, and one of the reasons I wanted to bring it up because while we were walking a while ago, my grandson, he was just saying, why couldn't we wear short pants and short sleeve shirt? And I was like, we have to stay temperate in our bodies. We have to be moderate about our dress. And plus it's good and helpful to keep your limbs covered. And I said, it's a cool day. And he said, yeah, but I'm sweating. I'm like, that's okay. You'll cool off. But,
That's the body's mechanism.
right.
And also for children, it's hard to keep the whole body covered.
Mm-hmm.
The nature as a children, they have so much energy.
Yeah.
So they just
Yeah.
run around.
When dress deform began? Last century. Before that, nobody know what is mean t-shirts, shorts.
Right.
Nobody have bikinis. Nobody have. Everybody is almost 6,000, 5,000, 6,000 years. Almost people have a long dresses,
Mhm.
long pants, long sleeves. It's for this last 100 years, everything become from top. Everything turned from upside down.
Mhm.
Everything turned upside down. Then even sometimes I'm listening that some kind of people who call themselves preachers, but they are not. It's nothing wrong to wear t-shirts. It's not. I see a lot of people. It doesn't matter what you see. It's matter when it began. It just began 20 years ago or 50 years ago.
Mhm.
And what about before that? We're forgetting that everything started last centuries. Dress reform, especially dress reform, food reform. We never have a chance. People cook in America too. Start with America. Everything was natural. Not anymore. So everything was normal, but right now people think it's nothing wrong with shorts. It is wrong, but we just born in this. I'm at home wearing shorts too, but he's my husband. Nobody see me, just him. So it's really convenient to me. I by myself at home, and I'll go to the garden. It's convenient to me.
Mhm.
But if somebody was around me,
Yeah.
I have to really be considered what
Mhm.
I wear.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think that's the way it is for most everybody's home. That's the only place that you would probably be wearing that type of clothes, is only in front of your own sibling, your spouse, or your kids. But that would be the only place that you'd really be doing that. If you're out in public, yeah, you should be more mindful of it.
I have to be completely honest. And this is not my opinion, but what I have read is it's all the time, not just sometime.
Hmm.
We need to understand that even around our spouse or sons, daughters, family we're used to being around, it has to be all the time.
Hmm.
River asked me, Gamey, why are you wearing a skirt for bedtime? Why? Because it's odd for her, to see, but it's got to be 100% of the time. And that's something that I had to learn, and it was such a process. But as God changed my heart, it was a work of my heart where I knew that God valued me enough that I was always covered, and that my dress, and just even over the past few years, I just have to explain how God changed my heart, and that's where it came from. Because you could try to, like, if you came around, like if you dressed like the world and then came around the conservative people, you could try to mimic that, but it wouldn't be in your heart. You would just be trying to do it.
Mhm.
But it's different when God is changing your heart. And the dress that was once acceptable to you is no longer acceptable to you.
Mhm.
And he adds, if you're a woman, he adds inches to your dress and keeps going adding inches, until of course you realize it's not going to be too long because you trip on it and stuff like that. But the only thing I can say to any woman as far as their dress goes is that if you're not covered in your heart, you're not going to be covered on the outside.
Yeah.
Because they have to go hand in hand.
Mhm.
And that's because God values you. That's what you begin to learn. God values you. And as far as your spouse goes, you don't want to awaken baser passion in your spouse. That's why even around your spouse you should be.
Yeah, you gotta explain that.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta break that one down. Because you're
Break
not
it
gonna wear
down?
a dress to bed.
I do.
You wear a dress to bed.
That's
skirt.
very personal.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this is
No
just
one
personal.
cancels it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened is I used to wear, well, I'm not going to say what I used to wear, but nothing like indecent or anything, but where it became like I didn't feel right anymore, even around my family, even around my husband, because what I realized is by the way I dress, I can awaken evil things in my husband. You have to be careful because even though he's my husband, you can feed evil.
something that could be a weakness in the other person's life.
You can feed evil
There's
thoughts.
no evil.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Marriage is totally different. Very different.
I understand what you.
Yes.
Well, you gotta be careful with that verse right there.
No, I'm saying.
But what you're saying, okay, let me see this,
Okay.
because I want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we talking about it. It confounds if it's just your husband, you and your husband, right? Now I can understand you have grandchildren over. I can understand if anybody's over anything else. I can get that. But when it's just you and your husband,
It's a different story.
it's I mean that's different. And you say it'll promote something in your husband the way you're dressed in front of your husband.
How can I break this down?
Can I explain?
The only way I can simply break this down is, let me just say this. The only way I can simply break this down is why would I want to dress like a godly woman for everybody else, but dress like a worldly woman for my husband? Does that make sense?
That's your husband. So God, that's why God allowed our marriage. I mean, but this is personal. This is your personal. Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
That's your conviction. That's your
In-
conviction.
In an
It seemed like you're presenting two extremes there.
Exactly.
in an effort,
Middle ground in there.
Well, that would be too extreme.
Yeah, that
You
you
see what I'm
presented two
saying?
extremes.
That would be too extreme.
From people, yes, it's totally understood by for your husband or your
In-
spouse.
But if that's your personal conviction,
Yeah.
I respect it.
that's right. What I wanted to say, what I wanted to say is also that if that's her personal conviction, and if that's okay with her husband, there's nothing wrong with it.
Exactly.
That's right, yeah.
It's
Nothing
it's
wrong with it.
between you and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just that's
But the other thing is you don't want to push your husband away by being somewhat that way also. So that's the only
balance.
Right.
balance it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, to go along with what she was saying, also, what happened was with Adam and Eve right after they took of the fruit of the tree. What was it they noticed about themselves? And what were they? Ashamed. Okay. So, huh?
Before God.
Before God. Okay. So in your relationship with God, would you still feel uncomfortable or just standing naked in front of him or not?
No.
No.
Before, yes. When I was in sin, yes.
Well, okay.
I mean, I'm in my sinful flesh,
Yeah.
still, but I've been changing, and now I rejoice to be
Right.
before God.
Well, I look at it from the same standpoint as what were they trying to do? They tried to recover themselves, right? But the only way that they could get covered was with Christ's righteousness, and that's why they were not ashamed.
And I said,
Okay, yeah, bring them the mic. But in that same instance, while your relationship is growing with Christ, you're being covered again with His righteousness. So
Right.
you're not going to be ashamed.
That is totally true. But in
Right.
earth, when God created Adam and Eve,
Mm-hmm.
He commanded to multiply. That's mean they're gonna be in this communion together, right?
Mhm.
And intimidation, right?
Right.
So that's the time when your spouse is gonna be united with you, and she had to be in that way with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but still, the garment of God is upon you guys because it's a communion, divine communion. God commanding us to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, if she want to do something with you, special with you, it's something with you because that's why we are married with a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so there's nothing bad with that. And the spirit of prophecy and testimony for the church, I don't remember which one was. Ellen G. White specific about the relationship with you and your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look now.
Now, I understand where Roxy's coming from, but I struggle with it, and I say that because I used to have the same mentality that she had, but my husband told me I didn't he felt like what everybody else is feeling. Okay, I understand you. This is your lifestyle. He said, but you don't always have to dress like that in front of, you don't always have to be fully covered in front of him. You can be, in a sense, dressed down, I guess you would say.
Mm-hmm.
And when I sat and thought about it, I was like, well, he is my husband. You know what I'm saying? So how am I harming him? How am I, I had to sit and think about it. And I was like, well, I'm not, I can wear maybe a shorter, my dresses are a little bit longer, but if I wear like maybe a shirt and some leggings underneath that are a little higher, it's for me. That was something that I had to work through, you know what I'm saying? Because I felt too the same way Roxy, like I felt in the sense like, I don't know, I just, am I sinning if I had that feeling. So I struggle with that because at home, again, he, for him to say that, I guess it wasn't to him. He's like, okay, I understand outside in the world you want to present yourself in a Christ-like way and you don't want other men to see you. But he said you don't have to always, and he used kind of a hurtful word. You don't have to dress like in a sense, he said like a rag, like a, not a rag doll, but like a, I don't know how to say it. He basically said I didn't have to dress so clothed. I didn't have to be so clothed at home. If that makes sense. Like it's okay for me to, if I wanted to wear a shorter skirt or, you know what I'm saying, something like that. I guess something appeasing to him, to his eyes, like Brother Sandy is saying. You don't want to get to a point where it's like, okay, what am I, I don't have nothing to, I don't know. I guess in his mind, nothing to.
Okay, well, I got a couple
you know what I'm
statements.
So I struggle with that too.
Okay, well, I got a couple things to say about that. So number one, about what you're saying, something that's more pleasing to his eye. Okay, but
I also recognize that my husband got a word of mouth.
Exactly, and that's what I was going to say. So you're going to be more appeasing to the worldly mindset, to the more passion, the lust-based type passions versus more of a love passion. So you're going to be entertaining that. So you're going to have to lower your standards to be able to entertain that. So is it appropriate for you to toy with that to try to appease a worldly mindset versus a Christian mindset, a spiritual mindset, which is, and I know you're you're raising some questions here, but I'm just saying, if you're going to take your standards down to where, yeah, I understand it's the marriage together and you should be one, but still, if you're trying to appease your other with a worldly way, what are you trying to pull out of that person?
And that's what makes me take it back to like, okay, now it makes me get into like, how did they dress back then?
Yeah.
What, like, how were they? I don't know if there's any history back then when it came to.
Plenty of history.
Huh?
It's plenty of history.
But how did they
Yeah.
dress in home? How did they dress?
It was. I mean, before 20th century, everybody have a long skirts everywhere.
But I'm saying how they dress in home.
At home, the same. They
bedroom?
even go to the beach. Yes, in the bedroom too. They have a long dresses.
I think we're going. It sounds to me like we're going too far with what happens in the bedroom
Yeah.
in somebody's private house.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's between the marriage and the God and God.
Right. Yeah.
So somebody's marriage is going to operate one way, another person's marriage is going to operate another way, and it's not for us
Yeah.
to say, well,
What's
one
right
of the
or wrong.
spouse
Yeah.
has a worldly mind and one doesn't. It's a divine institution, this marriage that God
Mhm.
put together. So it's between them and God whether or not one of the spouse needs something in this way for intimacy and the other doesn't, and they have to work that out between themselves and
Mhm.
God. We can't dictate that on people,
Right.
how they dress in their homes when
Right.
it's only two of them.
But you brought up a chapter in the Bible,
Yeah.
Song of Solomon.
What is that about?
Read that.
It's about yeah.
Song of Solomon.
They're for each other.
Read
They're
that.
they're to be there for each other's needs, all their needs.
1 Corinthians 7. I go back to that too.
Yeah.
You got to read all of that. I mean, you just got to have balance. Who created intimacy between a husband and a wife?
God.
Mhm.
That's why he
But
pulled.
there is
That's
a,
why he pulled the rib out of the man.
But
to
there's-
give him a
but there's a balance in that,
Yeah.
right? You can't just be doing any and
That's
everything.
balance. That's right.
Right.
That's balance.
Yeah.
Even then, you always say here, the passion and it, if you're the person you are dating, pressure the other to be sexual. I mean, I don't just wanna kid, we are kids here.
Yeah.
But I say about
What's the quote?
it's in wait, counsel on relationship.
Let's talk about dating, though, right?
Yeah, it's about
Dating.
sexual
That's a little different.
intimacy
We talking about married.
and the marriage and the morality and then what we should not do and what we should do.
Oh yeah, just go back to Avengers Home and read it.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And it's just about the word, like the word. It's all about that. So that's what I'm saying. If she is in her heart, she wants to do this. It's because God put it there.
Mhm.
That's why she's convinced for that. So there's nothing wrong.
Mhm.
It's everyone. You say too. Everyone has their own
Conviction?
conviction, exactly, conviction.
Criteria?
But in God presence, through the Bible, through the Spirit of prophecy, the counsel, what is telling us to, how dress reform, health reform, it's just follow the rule, the instruction.
Mhm.
As the Proverbs say, follow the instruction.
I thought I was read somewhere in prophecy about husband and wife.
Who's got the mic?
I do.
Oh.
Something about the way that a woman, even though that's her husband, certain kind of way that she's not supposed to dress a certain kind of way because he is her husband. Because it gets his mind, how did they put it? Somewhere I read that you're really not supposed to go skinny dipping together. It's in the bed or something, but it's, yeah, and stuff like that. And there's somewhere I read that. she gave instructions on that because it brings about something else.
Yeah.
Even between a husband and wife, there's some kind of passion that you create.
Yeah.
That's not good between a husband and wife.
Yeah.
Because when the wife doesn't really want to, the man goes, he used to heaven and he goes about his, I've read that before. You're not really supposed to be like that
Mhm.
because it brings on unnecessary passions. That's not good for the man and his wife.
Well, that means that male or female, that husband or wife's heart is not in the right
Well,
place.
it's still, I read that about
That's what
that.
that means.
Yeah.
You know, that husband may still be struggling with some things, and that wife may be still struggling with some things.
Mhm.
That's a whole different area right there.
Yeah.
But when you have two committed, I would say Seventh-day Adventist couples that are married, and you got to balance all that out. That's. I mean, you can't go to one extreme to the next.
Mhm.
You just can't do that.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna have a problem.
Yeah. It's almost like, I would kind of look at that as being, having two faces, like, where, why would you want to dress like the world sometimes, and then,
Oh, one thing I also observed about as my dress changed, because I used to wear short skirts, like I did, and the problem was the short skirt wearing was in the church, and it didn't convict me, and I wasn't convicted until I started coming here, like had a real conviction. And that's where the Lord started really working with me. And one thing I noticed, though, is my when I dressed more worldly before God changed my heart, I didn't get